Hello everybody and welcome back to more of Pokémon LeafGreen. Last time we made our way here to Route 3 and we caught ourselves a new Pokémon. We caught ourselves a Nidoran male. I had planned to use a Nidoran female, but it didn't really quite work out too well. I did off-screen end up catching one. I also found a Jigglypuff. I found more Jigglypuffs than Nidoran females, which is strange, because in addition to Nidoran male, Jigglypuff is pretty rare to find. Anyway, we're gonna read off Nidoran male stats. First time, is this the first time I looked at him? I don't even remember. But Hardy Nature, we already know Charmeleon stuff, okay. 9 experience points left until the next level. Oh my goodness. Let's see, good attack, and we already know its moves, Leer and Peck, and Focus Energy. We learned Focus Energy off screen. I raised it up, I believe, 2 levels. I think I left off with it at level 9. So off screen I leveled it up by 2 levels. And off screen I also brought some repels, because we are gonna need them here in Mount Moon, especially with everybody's favorite Pokemon to find in caves, Zubat. Without further ado though, let's finally head inside Mount Moon. Alright, so as always, a list of Pokemon you can find here in Mount Moon will appear on the screen, and I'm quickly going to use one of the 8 repels that we have. We're probably going to end up using all of them by the time we get out of here. And yes, the running shoes, I love them so much. Right here, to the left, is TM09 Bullet Seed, so come pick that up. If you started out with Bulbasaur, you can use it on him or her, depending on which gender you got. Right there is a Paralyze Heal, and lots of trainer battles are here. So, let's start out with the Bug Catcher, because why not? Bug Catchers are pretty common in the beginning. Suspicious men are in the cave. What about you? Alright, off screen, well, not, you saw, I don't even know what I was just trying to say there, but Nidoran male learned a new move. It learned Double Kick, which is awesome. What does this sign say? Beware, Zubat is a bloodsucker. Yeah, I figured as much. Anyway, there's another trainer battle here. What? I'm waiting for my friends to find me here. Clefairy! You can find them in here. They are rare, though. And Repel finally wore off, so we have to go in our bag and spray a new one. Alright. We have 6 left. I don't really know if that'll hold us. But anyway, there are ladders here. and you can go to different areas of Mount Moon. Oh, who is that? We, Team Rocket, are Pokemon gangsters. We strike fear with our strength. Team Rocket Grunt would like to battle. Alright, and out first is going to be a Sandshrew. Meet grunts for the regional villain, Team Rocket. In each Pokemon game there are villains. In this one, the first generation, it's Team Rocket. Team Rocket is pretty much the most notorious one as well. From the games to the anime to pretty much everything. Even live theater, which is something I would actually like to experience one day. Seeing a live Pokemon show on a theater stage. That'd actually be quite funny. Anyway, we're going to keep using Double Kick here on the Sandshrew. Sandshrew is actually a Pokemon that I believe, I want to say, in LeafGreen you can catch on the next route. I'm not 100% sure though. Obviously I'll find out when I go to edit the graphic for Pokemon that appear on Route 4. But anyway, we took out Sandshrew. Poison Point helped out. And all that experience gives us level 14. Alright. Growing up on the levels here. Next out is going to be a Rattata. We are going to stay in because Charmeleon's a couple more levels ahead of Nidoran still. So we're going to want to catch Nidoran up a bit. That tackle should have probably poisoned you, but that's fine. This double kick will take you out easily, being that we're 3 levels higher. Alright. So, that's 2 Pokemon of 3 down. The final Pokemon is going to be a Zubat. And we are actually going to switch into Charmeleon, because really Nidoran can't touch Zubat. The battle would go on for a long time if I left Nidoran in. Although using Focus Energy and Leer probably would have helped us. But I'm just going to go all out, and I'm going to use Ember here with Charmeleon. And look at that, takes it out with a critical hit. Smart move! And let's see if Charmeleon's gonna grow. Yes, it will. Charmeleon is now level 19. Awesome. And we have defeated the Team Rocket Grunt. I blew it! And we got $350 for winning. Alright, Team Rocket. We'll be seeing more of them later, I promise you that. This guy was guarding an item all the way over here. It's a star piece. Star pieces will sell for a lot of money at shops, so I recommend picking them up. Anyway, now that we're done with that, we can head back up the ladder here and continue on here in Mount Moon, and Repel wore off just as soon as that happened. Okay, so let's go in our bag and spray yet another Repel. 100 steps. You can pick up more, well, bigger, I guess you could say, upgrades to Repels later on. There are 2 more upgrades where you can get more steps free of wild Pokemon for your buck. There's a scientist right here. What? Don't sneak up on me! Alright, we defeated the scientist. Ooh, a Pokeball. A rare candy, the first one we have found here in the game. The rare candy. It levels up your Pokemon by 1 level, which is excellent. I recommend collecting as much as you can before using them. Although if you're in a pinch and want your Pokemon to start gaining levels equally, although that's kind of not fair. Rare candy is kind of like a steroid for the Pokemon world if you think about it. Anyway, you need to go through this cave to get to Cerulean City. Alright, Nidoran has evolved into Nidorino. Finally, its male symbol is out of here, and the same goes for if you catch a Nidoran female, it becomes Nidorina, where you will lose that. Oh, there's a Pokeball there, where you will lose the gender symbol in the name. Anyway, there's a Pokeball here, like I said, it's an escape rope. So if you're in a pickle and want to get out of here, then use the escape rope. Repel wore off. There's not that much cave left to go, so I think these 5 repels should keep us together. Anyway, with our newly evolved Nidorino, let's fight some more trainers. Hi, I'm excavating for fossils here under Mount Moon. Sometimes Brock of Pewter Gym lends me a hand. Oh, you're not a trainer, but you are a trainer. Wow, it's way bigger in here than I thought. Alright, we defeated the last. There is another staircase over here. Let's go down. I don't think this really leads to... Oh no, there is another Team Rocket grunt here, and he's guarding this item, which is a TM46 Thief. It's a dark type move, I believe. Anyway, let's talk to the grunt. We're pulling a big job here. Get lost, kid! Alright, and here we go. Time to face this rocket grunt. He only has 2 Pokemon compared to his compadre with 3 a little bit ago, luckily. Anyway, now that we have a Nidorino instead of a Nidoran male, I think we can take this Zubat with our Nidorelm. I got it! Critical hit peck. We've been getting a lot of critical hits lately, I've noticed. Huh. Weird. Anyway, now Nidorino is level 17. I'm actually getting used to saying Nidorino instead of Nidoran male, unlike my failed attempt at saying Charmeleon with Charmander when it first evolved. Anyway, next up is going to be an Ekans. I'm going to stay in, and I just noticed that Nidorino is practically on par with Charmeleon now. Huh. We're probably gonna need to use Pokemon we've caught in the past that we aren't using on our teams for the future. To catch our other team members. Although, actually, a lot of them are probably going to be around the same level by the time we get to them, so never mind. Anyway, let's use Peck now, because Double Kick obviously wasn't working. There we go. It actually did some damage to it. Alright, and one more Peck should be all good. And there we go. So that takes care of Ekans, as well as this Team Rocket grunt. So, you are good. And yet again, we got $350 for winning. Alright, so now that we're done with that, let's head back through the ladders, and let's head down. This guy, should we heal Nidorino? There we go. I said I was getting perfectly used to saying Nidorino instead of Nidoran male. Then I go ahead and practically say Nidoran male again. Anyway, we used a potion on Nidorino, and yes, there are fancy animations for this kind of stuff now. The updated graphics of Generation 1. Anyway, let's talk to this youngster here. Did you come to explore the cave too? We defeated the youngster, and now, oh, the repel wore off. Can we get to this guy before we run into a Pokemon? Yes, we can. Whoa! You shocked me! Oh, you're just a kid. Alright, we defeated the hiker, and there's an item up here. It is a moonstone. A moonstone is used to evolve several Pokemon, including Nidorino. But we are not going to be evolving Nidorino for right now. Maybe a little bit later. Anyway, through these ladders here, we end up in yet another part of Mount Moon. All the way up here, we find a revive, which is very good. It saves you a trip from the Pokemon Center, and oh my goodness, what did we just run into? We ran into a Paris. Oh, I forgot to spray another repel, that's right. Well, this is awkward. Let's just take it out, I guess. Although, something I should mention before we leave Mount Moon, since we're not going to be coming here for a long time, I will be catching Pokemon from here off-screen. Just so I can have them in my Pokedex, since we're not going to be coming back here for a long time. Anyway, we're going to spray another repel. I remember in Red and Blue playing these all the time that, oh my god, all of the wild Pokemon in here, especially Zubats, oh god, that was so horrible. Especially being so young with a small attention span. Anyways, little kids shouldn't be messing around with grown-ups. It could be bad news. And yet another battle with a Team Rocket Grunt. This one has two Pokemon just like the one from before, and this one starts out with a Rattata. Alright, we're running out of double kicks and pecks here, so maybe we should start using Charmeleon again. Anyway, we take out Rattata, so already one Pokemon down and only one left to go, and that other Pokemon is a Sandshrew. And you know what? We're actually going to switch into Charmeleon, because Charmeleon's only had probably like one thing throughout this episode so far, and I'm not even 100% sure if it was on screen or not. So you know what? We're just gonna use Charmeleon right now. We're gonna use Metal Claw here on Sandshrew. And that practically did nothing. Let's try an Ember. There we go, another critical hit. My goodness, what is going on today? Anyways, that's gonna do it for this Team Rocket Grunt. I'm steamed! And this time we get over $400 for winning. Alright, so now we can head over here. As you saw, there was a glimpse of a Rocket Grunt we have battled before, in another part of the cave. And yet again, another Team Rocket Grunt. I think we'll just start out with Nidorino. If we need to switch, we will do so. We, Team Rocket, shall find the fossils. Reviving Pokemon from them will earn us huge riches. Alright, this Team Rocket Grunt has two Pokemon as well, and first up is a Rattata, yet again. Alright, another double kick should do the trick. Oh my god, we almost took it out in one shot. But we did take it out with that second one. I was about to say luckily, but I don't think we need luck when facing Rattatas now with Nidorino. Anyways, that's gonna get Nidorino to level 19! So now Charmeleon and Nidorino are on par. Next up is going to be a Zubat. I'm going to switch into Charmeleon because now Charmeleon needs to get more levels over Nidorino. And that doesn't really make sense, but I'm going to do it anyway. Alright, so let's use Ember. And, oh my, critical hit, what? Oh my god. Okay, well, I'll take it. And we have defeated this Team Rocket Grunt. Ugh, now I'm mad. And we got over $400 for winning. Okay, let's see. Does Nidorino need to be healed up? No, not really. Neither does Charmeleon. Because we got a kind of important battle coming up. I think there's also a hidden item. Is there a hidden item? Yes, there is! It's a hidden moonstone right there. How did I remember that? I don't know. And I was gonna walk up and not run into any Pokemon, but... Oh, here we go, of course. Zubat, of course. The bane of my existence when I was really little. I'm just gonna run from this, cause... yeah, nightmares are starting to come back. Okay, let's use another repel. There's not that much cave left, and I think 100 steps will do it. Alright, so we use that, and let's go up to this scientist here. Hey, stop! I found these fossils. They're both mine. Alright, so Super Nerd Miguel, although he's a scientist outside of, in the overworld of Pokemon. Let's see here. Grimer. Peck, I guess. That'll probably do the most damage out of anything. And Harden. I thought Metapods and Kakunas used that there, guy. You know what? I'm gonna switch out into Charmeleon just because... really, Nidorino's probably gonna have a tough time, especially if it keeps using Harden. Okay, let's try out an Ember. I was gonna say, are we gonna get another critical hit there, but... no. Surprisingly. Although that's not really a surprise anymore, considering how my luck is after a certain amount of time. Anyways, down goes Grimer, which is awesome. And next up is going to be a Coughing. I'm going to stay in here. Alright, and now let's use Ember again. Oh, that almost took it out. Not quite, though. Again, with the close calls. Smog, oh, that usually has a chance to poison, so we got lucky there. But a Scratch is going to finish off this Coughing, and there's only one Pokemon left to go, and we almost got to level 22. And that last Pokemon is going to be a Voltorb, and we are definitely going to stay in here. Alright, and again, let's use Ember. Wow, it actually stayed in the yellow that time. Weird. Let's use Ember one more time, and take care of Voltorb. Which means that's gonna do it for Super Nerd Miguel. And also, that gives Charmeleon level 20. Smokescreen. No thank you. Yep, I do not want to learn Smokescreen. Okay, I'll share. And we got nearly $300 for winning. We'll each take a fossil. No being greedy. Helix fossil. Yeah, I'll take it. And we put it away in the key items pocket. Alright, then this fossil is mine! Far away, on Cinnabar Island, there's a Pokémon lab. They do research on regenerating fossils. Yeah, so you're gonna be waiting a long time to get your fossils back to life. Anyways, right here is an antidote. There we go. And up this ladder, and through here, is Route 4. We do have a chance to go back into Mount Moon, and we are going to be doing that off-screen to catch those Pokemon, like I mentioned earlier. So, next time on Pokémon LeafGreen, we will travel along Route 4 and into Cerulean City. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.